An FPV drone struck one of two soldiers stationed at a Ukrainian armed forces trench in the Sumy region. A Russian FPV drone in standby mode along the Sumy route immediately starts its engine and flies toward Ukrainian pickup trucks upon detecting them.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe, and like.
A Russian FPV drone encountered a Ukrainian pickup truck during reconnaissance. It quickly flew toward its target. Soldiers spotted the drone beforehand and managed to escape at the last second. Attack units belonging to the Raikari Regiment, part of the Central Group, spectacularly blew up the Ukrainian Armed Forces headquarters. In the Mirno area northwest of Pokrovsk, FPV UAVs detected and destroyed Ukrainian Armed Forces equipment and artillery units moving toward their positions. A pickup truck carrying a towed howitzer and the howitzer itself were destroyed. Footage of yesterday's attacks on Ukrainian territory. A Russian UAV made a very hard landing on its target, Kharkiv region. Footage of the Frodo crew of the 68th Motorized Infantry Division of the Leningrad Military District in the Kharkiv region. One of the 68th Division's most effective crews is setting up ambushes, destroying Ukrainian armed forces cargo and armored vehicles, and ruthlessly eliminating enemy personnel. The Air Force launched attacks on ground forces deployment points in Konstantinovka and Mirnohrad. Judging by the first attack footage, this was a Garan UAV attack, while the second attack was a FAB bomb from a UMPK. Russian Air Forces used precision-guided munitions against the command center of the Ukrainian Armed Forces 77th Airborne Brigade in Bohuslavka. UAV operators attached to the southern military region destroyed the enemy shelter and the infantry inside with a precision strike. UAV operators from the 16th Special Forces Unit are on duty. Another enemy UAV launch site in the Korovy Yar area near Rubtsovsk has been destroyed. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. The FPV UAV unit of the Volunteer Corps affiliated with the South Group successfully ambushed an enemy pickup truck heading towards Druzhkivka. Footage of a large, high-precision bomb dropped by artillerymen of the 338th Guards Rocket Artillery Brigade, part of the Vostok military group, in Ternovka. An Iskander-M missile attack was launched against Ukrainian Armed Forces air defense systems in the town of Zalaznikne, in the Sumy region. The target was hit directly and destroyed. A high-precision missile strike was carried out on the temporary deployment point of the Ukrainian Armed Forces 57th Brigade in Vovchansk. The target was completely destroyed. Northerners' UAVs burned a Ukrainian Armed Forces armored personnel carrier in the Kharkiv region. Several American M1-13 armored personnel carriers were destroyed in several attacks carried out by FPV units belonging to the Leningrad Military District's 6th Army. Russian FPV drone operators are on duty. The underground shelters, equipment, and ammunition that Ukrainian forces worked hard to conceal were destroyed one by one. Their attempt to use ruined houses as staging points was also a major mistake. The commander of the Zala complex said that the Russian armed forces destroyed a Tu-22 Bodana self-propelled gun in the Kherson region with a Lancet missile. The Russian forces' UAV operations and surveillance of enemy targets were objectively recorded. Expensive equipment was destroyed after the Russian UAV attack. It was scrapped. According to a statement from the Russian Ministry of Defense, the Russian armed forces destroyed a Ukrainian armed forces position near Krasnoarmysk with a hurricane attack. Artillery units completed their mission by destroying targets based on precise calculations. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense, the Sumbul strike destroyed the Ukrainian armed forces' ammunition depots, equipment, and infantry in Luhansk. The work of the artillery units was objectively recorded. Ukrainian positions were hit in Gavrilovka, in the Dnipropetrovsk region. Factories and various military buildings appear to have been destroyed. The source of the attack was not specified in the news report, but I think it was a Su-34 FAB 500 or FAB 1500. Write your thoughts in the comments. Another FAB 3000 attack on the Ukrainian Armed Forces air defense system. This time, the attack hit the base of the Ukrainian Armed Forces 28th Air Defense Brigade in the village of Konstantinovka. New footage of the Ukrainian A30B unit in the village of Zarychny, near Krasnolimansky, being hit by Russians. The positions were detected during aerial reconnaissance and destroyed using both FPV drones and guided missiles. The pickup truck they used for rapid movement was also hit. Video footage of the moment an Iskander-M missile struck an airbase. Today, the Russian armed forces launched a missile attack on the bases of Yak-52 aircraft and long-range kamikaze UAVs located at an airbase in Dnipropetrovsk. The coordinates were precisely calculated by Zala operators and relayed to the Iskander-M team. As a result of the precise adjustments, the airbase and expensive aircraft were destroyed. The destruction has been objectively verified. Sumy region, near Yunikivka village. A Russian fiber optic drone conducting reconnaissance stumbled upon a shelter. It moved to attack, but the drone did not explode. The drone's propellers remained spinning for a while, and a Ukrainian soldier inside came out to check what had happened. The fact that the drone was still there and hadn't exploded made the soldier nervous. Not knowing what to do, the soldier just looked around. What would you do? Russian FPV drone operators destroyed numerous Ukrainian shelters, positions, and locations close to each other in a short period of time. Due to the intensity of the drone attack, electronic devices in the shelter were damaged. Military personnel from the Alisk Motorized Rifle Regiment, part of the Central Group, used FPV UAVs to strike enemy positions, supply routes, and heavy hexacopters belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces near Krasnoarmysk. The crew began by preparing their positions, deploying equipment, camouflaging antennas, and readying the UAVs. After receiving target data, engineers armed the UAV with ammunition. The pilot flies to the target, assesses the situation, selects an attack line, and uses his skills to accurately strike the windows and doors of buildings. New footage of Ukrainian unmanned boats being destroyed in the Black Sea using light weapons and Lancet UAVs. Ukrainian forces are using unmanned boats for both defense and occasional offensive operations. However, Russian forces with advanced systems are destroying Ukrainian boats. A Russian FPV drone heading towards Kupiansk spotted 4 Ukrainian soldiers running quickly near buildings. It flew towards the soldiers at high speed. It hit the nearest soldier. A Russian soldier hit the position where Ukrainian soldiers were located with a grenade launcher at close range.
Давай, в синий дом!
The 16th Special Forces Brigade continues to demonstrate its complete dominance on the battlefield. They destroyed 2 more American AN/TPQ-50 radars in the Chernish-China region. Western GRV fighters skillfully destroyed a Finnish-made XA-180 armored personnel carrier with a single strike from a Lancet. Russian Molniya-2 kamikaze drones struck Ukraine's position with pinpoint accuracy. A drone operator from the Central Group spotted a location where Ukrainian soldiers were hiding and relayed the coordinates to a Russian artillery unit. Ukrainian forces lost their positions as a result of unexpected successive artillery attacks.
Выстрел! Выстрел!
Among the targets struck over several days by a UAV operator attached to the 11th Guards Airborne Brigade in the Sumy region were 2 infantry fighting vehicles carrying personnel, a pickup truck, an ATV, and a camouflaged artillery position. Another death route where equipment belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces was destroyed. Footage by Ukrainian forces. Russian forces continue combat operations in Donbass. This time, soldiers from the Yuzhnaya group destroyed Ukrainian armed forces vehicles using FPV technology. Footage of combat operations by soldiers from the South group. Russian scouts, together with artillery units, destroyed another UAV control point belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. Footage showing Russian drone operators taking complete control of the highway near the settlement of Vyrolyubovka. While drone operators affiliated with the 1st Tank Army destroy another Ukrainian pickup truck, a Ukrainian soldier appears unable to shoot down the flying drone. Ukrainian soldiers wanted to shoot a great video, and they did. Destruction of a Ukrainian Armed Forces support point by Russian Air Force FAB strikes in the direction of Yuzhno-Ukrainsk. 3 Ukrainian soldiers had just joined the army. However, before they could reach their positions, they were stopped by a Russian drone. Everything that happened was captured on the drone's camera. It was a big mistake for these 3 soldiers to be walking in an open area. It was as if drone technology had never been invented. Were there no military armored vehicles? According to a statement from the Russian Ministry of Defense, the Russian armed forces struck a Ukrainian armed forces drone control center in Donetsk with Garin missiles. The images show an LMUR arriving at the Ukrainian armed forces UAV control point number 39 in the Tokarevka area of the Kherson region. In the Shoska suburbs of Ukraine's Sumy region, Ukrainian armed forces personnel have been rotating over the past few days. The Tornado S crew decided to speed up the process, resulting in the destruction of more than 50 personnel, more than 5 pieces of military equipment,